If you placed radium and uranium side by side and asked one simple question, which is more deadly? The answer is far more terrifying than most people realize, because these are not just radioactive substances. They are two discoveries that changed science, medicine, war, and humanity's understanding of death itself. One glows in the dark. The other helped create the most destructive weapon ever built. Both are invisible killers. Both can destroy the human body, but they do it in completely different ways. And here's the strange part. At one point in history, people actually believed one of these substances was healthy. Let's explore it right here on Zentino Facts. In the late 1800s, scientists were racing to understand a mysterious new force invisible to the human eye. Then, in 1898, two scientists, Marie Curie and Pierre Curie, discovered something extraordinary hidden inside uranium ore, a radioactive element they named radium. And at first, radium looked magical. It emitted heat constantly, it glowed faintly in the dark, and it seemed almost supernatural. People became obsessed with it. Soon, radium was being added to toothpaste, face creams, chocolate, drinking water, even health tonics people consumed daily. Nobody fully understood the danger yet. Radiation was invisible, silent, and its effects often took years to appear. Meanwhile, uranium had already been known for decades, but at the time it seemed less exciting. It was mainly used to color glass and ceramics. Nobody suspected it would later become one of the most feared materials on Earth. But to understand which is more deadly, we first need to understand what radiation actually is. Every atom contains energy. Some atoms are unstable, and when unstable atoms break apart, they release radiation. That radiation can damage living cells, break DNA, destroy organs, and increase the risk of cancer. But not all radioactive materials behave the same way. Some release radiation slowly. Others release massive bursts of energy. Some are dangerous only if touched. Others are deadly if inhaled or swallowed. And this is where radium becomes terrifying. Radium behaves chemically like calcium, so when it enters the human body, your bones mistake it for something useful. Your skeleton literally absorbs it, and once inside the bones, radium keeps releasing radiation non-stop, day after day, year after year. Imagine having tiny invisible bullets firing from inside your body continuously. That is essentially what radium does. One of the most horrifying examples happened in the early 1900s. Factories hired young women to paint watch dials with glowing radium paint. These workers became known as the Radium Girls. To sharpen their paintbrushes, they were told to lick the tips with their lips again and again, every day. The companies told them it was harmless. Some workers even painted their nails and teeth for fun because the glowing effect looked beautiful in dark rooms. But years later, the symptoms began. Their teeth started falling out. Their jaws literally began disintegrating. Bones weakened. Tumors formed. Severe anemia appeared. Some women suffered so much radiation damage that parts of their faces collapsed. The radium inside their bodies was slowly destroying them from within. Even worse, many of their bodies remained radioactive after death. The tragedy shocked the world and completely changed workplace safety laws forever. So radium is horrifically dangerous inside the human body, but uranium operates differently. Natural uranium is actually less radioactive than radium. If you placed small pieces of each on a table, radium would generally expose you to stronger radiation, but uranium carries a different kind of danger. Because uranium can be refined, enriched, and transformed into fuel for nuclear reactors and nuclear weapons, that changes everything. Inside certain uranium atoms is an enormous amount of stored energy. When split apart in a nuclear chain reaction, the energy release becomes catastrophic. That discovery eventually led to the creation of the atomic bomb. In 1945, uranium-based bombs devastated the Japanese city of Hiroshima during World War II. The explosion killed tens of thousands instantly. Many more died later from burns, radiation sickness, and cancers. Buildings vanished. Shadows were burned into walls. Entire neighborhoods disappeared within seconds. And unlike radium poisoning, this destruction happened on a scale almost instantly. That's what makes uranium terrifying. Not because a tiny piece is automatically more radioactive than radium, but because uranium can unleash civilization-level destruction when weaponized. So which is actually more deadly? The answer depends on what kind of danger we are talking about. If we are talking about direct radioactivity and danger to the human body, radium is generally more radioactive and biologically dangerous in small amounts, especially when inhaled or swallowed. Your bones absorb it, and it keeps attacking your body from the inside for years. But if we are talking about destructive potential on a global scale, uranium is far more deadly, because uranium can power nuclear bombs, nuclear reactors, and radioactive contamination affecting entire regions. One quietly destroys individuals from the inside. The other can alter the fate of nations. And here's the unsettling part. Neither substance looks dangerous to the human eye. No smell, no warning sound, no immediate pain in many cases. That invisibility is what made radiation so frightening throughout history. You often never realize the damage until it is already happening. Today, both radium and uranium are handled under strict safety controls. Scientists now understand radiation far better than people did a century ago. But the history of these elements remains one of humanity's greatest lessons about discovery, because sometimes the most dangerous things on Earth don't look dangerous at all. And sometimes scientific breakthroughs arrive long before humanity is ready for their consequences. The glow of radium once looked beautiful. The power of uranium once looked promising. But together they revealed one terrifying truth. Nature contains forces far beyond what humans originally imagined. And once those forces are discovered, the world is never quite the same again. Thanks for watching.